There's something uncomfortable I need to tell you. You're not stuck because you're weak. You're stuck because you're powerful, and that terrifies you. Most people spend their lives believing the problem is a lack of confidence, discipline, or opportunity. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is this. Deep down, you already know what you're capable of. And stepping into that version of yourself would change everything. Your relationships would change. Your habits would change. Your excuses would disappear. And that level of responsibility, it's heavy. So instead of rising into your power, you shrink away from it. Think about it. How many times have you had a moment where you felt clarity? A moment where you thought, I know exactly what I need to do. Maybe it was starting that business, leaving that unhealthy relationship, speaking your truth, taking control of your life. And what happened next? You hesitated, you delayed, you distracted yourself. Suddenly you were tired, confused, or unsure again. That wasn't laziness. That was fear, but not fear of failure. It was fear of your own power. Because if you actually followed through, you wouldn't be able to go back to who you used to be. And that's what your mind is trying to protect. You see, staying small is comfortable. It's familiar. There's no pressure to become more, no expectations to live up to. When you play small, you don't risk judgment, rejection, or responsibility. But when you step into your power, everything changes. You become visible. You become accountable. You become someone who can no longer pretend they don't know better. And that's scary. You know, a lot of people think fear shows up as panic or anxiety, but more often than not, it shows up as procrastination, overthinking, self-doubt, endless preparation without action. It's subtle, isn't it? It sounds like, I'm not ready yet. I need more time. What if it doesn't work? But beneath all of that, there's a deeper truth. What if it does work? What if you actually succeed? What if you become disciplined? What if you outgrow your current environment? What if you become someone others look up to? Now you have to maintain that standard. Now you have to keep showing up. Now you can't hide anymore. That's the real fear. And honestly, it's why so many people sabotage themselves right when things start going well. They get close to success and then pull back. They get clarity and then create confusion. They feel momentum and then suddenly lose it. Not because they can't handle failure, but because they're not ready to handle their own power. Let's go deeper. Your power isn't just about success or achievement. It's about your ability to choose your path, to choose your response, to choose who you become. And that level of freedom is overwhelming if you're used to blaming circumstances, people, or the past. Because once you accept your power, you lose your excuses. You can no longer say, it's because of them, it's because of my situation, it's just the way I am. No. Now it becomes, what am I going to do about it? And that question demands action. That's why, many people unconsciously avoid stepping into their power. They're just not ready to take full ownership of their lives. But here's the truth you really need to hear Avoiding your power doesn't make life easier. It actually makes it smaller. You settle for less. You tolerate what you know you shouldn't. You live with this quiet frustration that honestly never really goes away. Because deep down, you know you're meant for more. And well, ignoring that truth creates a kind of internal tension, a feeling that something is just off. That's not anxiety. That's your potential trying to wake you up. So, what do you do about it? First, you stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is honestly a myth. You don't become ready by thinking, you become ready by acting. Every step you take builds confidence. Every decision you make, it strengthens your identity. Second, you get comfortable with discomfort. Stepping into your power will feel unfamiliar. It will feel risky. You might even feel like an imposter at first. That's normal. Growth always feels like that in the beginning. Third, you start telling yourself the truth. Stop saying, "I can't." Start asking, "Why am I choosing not to?" That question shifts everything. It forces you to see your behavior for what it is, not limitation, but avoidance. And finally, you accept responsibility, not as a burden, but as freedom. Because once you realize you are responsible for your life, you also realize you can change it. That's power. Not control over everything, but control over your choices. At the end of the day, the life you want isn't on the other side of luck or timing. It's on the other side of courage. The courage to stop hiding. The courage to stop shrinking. The courage to face the truth that you are far more capable than you've allowed yourself to be. And yes, that's scary. But staying where you are, knowing what you're capable of, that's even scarier. So the next time you feel hesitation, don't run from it. Pause. Ask yourself, am I afraid of failing, or am I afraid of becoming who I know I can be? Because once you answer that honestly, everything changes. Your power isn't something you need to find. It's something you need to stop running from.